keep us updated. Meanwhile, the families of some of those killed when that plane crashed in the Alps Tuesday visited the scene today. They arrived, as investigators confirmed, the co-pilot of Germanwings Flight 9525 intentionally crashed the jet into a mountain as it flew from Barcelona to Dusseldorf. Marcy Gonzalez is in New York with more on what they've learned from the cockpit flight data recorder.
In those chilling final moments before Germanwings Flight 9525 slammed into the French Alps, investigators say the cockpit voice recorder picked up the screams of passengers and the frantic thuds of the pilot pounding on the cockpit door. Locked out intentionally, investigators say, by the co-pilot, who stayed silent as he hit the button to bring the plane into a nearly 10-minute-long deadly descent.
He activated that button for reasons we do not know at all, but which can be analyzed as a willingness to destroy the aircraft.
The cockpit voice recorder recovered at the scene, revealing the flight started out normally. Once at cruising altitude, the pilots heard asking the co-pilot to take control as he stepped out of the cockpit, presumably to use the restroom. When he tried to return, investigators say the 28-year-old co-pilot Andreas Lubitz did not respond and kept the door locked. He's heard breathing normally until the moment of impact.
They're listening to the breathing and considering that the pattern that they're hearing is consistent with somebody who is conscious, alert, and doing something that they intend to do.
A horrifying realization for the families of the 149 other people who were on board, whose remains are still being recovered today. Among them, 3 Americans, 37-year-old Robert Oliver, as well as Yvonne and Emily Selke, a mother and daughter from Virginia.
And investigators are still trying to figure out the co-pilot's motive, saying he had passed a psychological exam and had no links to terrorism. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC 7 News.
And this is not the first time suspicion has fallen on a pilot after a plane crash. November of 2013, 33 people died after the co-pilot of a Mozambique Airlines plane locked the pilot out of the cockpit, and that plane crashed in northern Namibia. 217 people died in October 1999 when the co-pilot of that Egypt Air flight cut the engines and turned the plane toward the Atlantic Ocean shortly after taking off from Kennedy Airport in New York. And in February 1982, the captain of a Japan Airlines flight was declared mentally unstable after 24 of the 174 people on board died when the plane crashed near Tokyo.
So how do the latest developments about the pilot's actions make you feel about flying? Suzanne Kennedy is live at Reagan National Airport, where she's been talking all day about flyers' concerns. Suzanne?
Well, Kimberly, here at National Airport right now, it's extremely busy. If you take a look behind me, you can see down at security, lots of people traveling both on spring break and for business. Before this morning, they might not have thought about the mental stability of the pilot flying their plane. But for some, now that's changed. Monisha Mapp is a frequent flyer. Her job requires she take to the air several times a month.
I just always kind of just hope for the best. I recognize it's a crapshoot.
When she boards a plane, she knows anything can happen, as proven by Germanwings Flight 9525.
You're in the hands of the pilot. You know, really, it's out of your control. You don't know what's going on, and you're trusting that they're in the right frame of mind and the right physical condition to, you know, fly that plane.
The deliberate crashing of the plane is eliciting outrage internationally.
When you're responsible for 150 people behind you, I don't call that a suicide.
And fear for some who have to travel by air.
It's a scary situation to fly, but for those in my position, we have no choice but to fly. So, you know, for me, I just tap into a higher power and just hope that things work out well.
Jennifer Clark and her mother are flying home from Orlando after their D.C. vacation.
I was shocked to hear it was a suicide.
The suicide crash has them thinking about their safety.
If I want to travel, then it's just something, a risk I'll have to take that somebody like that might get through the system again.
It does make me think twice, but I can't live in fear. I have to be willing to travel, and you know, if I just have to be confident in who's flying my plane today.
Some of the people that we spoke with today compared the way they were feeling about flying to some extent how they felt after 9/11. However, none of them said they would walk away completely from air travel in light of what happened on that German aircraft. Reporting live at Reagan National Airport, Suzanne Kennedy, ABC 7 News.